Hello, everyone, and welcome to St. Andrew's Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon, Delhi, NCR. St. Andrew's Institute of Technology and Management is the best college in entire northern India. It is the fastest growing college in the country. It provides best quality education and it has best industry standards. It provides you 100% placements and try to reach out each and every section of the society. St. Andrews offers you a variety of courses to choose from BTech, from BBA, BCA, and soon they are coming with MBA, Architecture and Law. So this is a video for the Bachelor's of Business Administration department. The subject taken in here is System Analysis and Design. The code is BBAN 602 and this is BBA 6th semester subject. The topic is Screen Design and Report Design. I, Shalini from CSC department, shall take you forward in the video. Screen Design. See, if the interface supports data entry, it must follow the guidelines for the data entry screen design. Screen designs, like if your screen is interacting, so the way it interacts, the way you enter the data from the user, it has a set of guidelines that you need to follow. So you can present initial screen designs to user in the form of storyboard. So initially when you are providing the users with the story or with the kind of screens, you can give them storyboards, which can be a sketch that will show you a general screen layout and design. So he can actually like kind of move in also, and therein he can have his own story. So that's why you know it as a storyboard. The storyboard can be created with software or drawn freehand. Users must tell all aspects of the interface design and provide feedback to the designers. User input can be obtained in interviews, by questionnaires, and by observation. So, interface designers also can obtain data called usability metrics by using software that can record and measure user interactions with the system. Like, so whenever there anything that is making you contact with the system, there's a background app that is running, and what is that doing? That is actually recording. So anything, any kind of an interaction that is being happening, you only be recording it in the usability metrics, right? Okay. You can use models and prototypes, focus on the usability. These are the various things that you can keep in mind. You it can help you invite feedbacks for you can make it better, and you can document. The very important thing is you document everything. So while designing screen designs, you need to keep a document, so it will help you actually recall what have you done, because design is basically a design. Unless and until you're documenting it somewhere, you cannot understand it, because many a times there's one designer working in there, then if he suppose moves out from the office and he's going to another office, then you need the other one has to have a understanding. So that understanding will only come from the document if it is there. So it has to be, everything has to be documenting. Then while designing the user face, the various things, or I would say parameters, or that you need to keep in mind. Like you design a transparent interface, so whatever that you are designing, the interface has to be transparent. The user has to be aware as to what exactly he is doing, and you need to have reflection also, right? Then it is create an interface that is easy to learn and use. Anything that is pretty easy to learn and use is most welcoming, and people really becomes it really becomes famous among people love it. Okay, and it should enhance user productivity, so like it need to be very efficient, I would say. And it makes it easy for user to obtain help or correct errors. Then you minimize input data problems, provide feedback to users, you create an attractive layout and design, and use familiar terms and images. Okay, the screen you design several features that are described as follows. So there's a menu bar. So the menu bar at the top of the screen displays the main menu options. Some software packages allow you to create customized menu bars and toolbars. You can add a shortcut feature that lets a user select a menu command either by clicking the desired choice or by pressing the Alt key plus the underlined character. So some forms also use a toolbar that contains icons or buttons that represent shortcuts for executing common commands. Right? So a command button initiates an action such as printing a form or requesting help. So for example, when a user clicks the find student command button, so a dialog box opens with instructions, right? So it means that find student will actually, there's a dialog box with a set of instructions that will actually help you navigate through it, right? So a dialog box, it will allow the user to enter information about a task and the system will perform. Suppose when you press Ctrl plus F into the system, it helps you enter the data and then it gives you the search result of it. So this is very important, right? Okay. Now a textbook. Now where have you seen a textbook? So whenever you may open Gmails, you always see a space wherein you can write. You are given a write. You are given space to write your mail ID and you are given space to write your passwords, right? And whenever that you fill forms, so you are giving boxes that you can type. So all these are text boxes. So this displays messages, provide a place for a user to enter data. A toggle button is used to represent on or off status. Clicking the toggle button switches to the other status. A list box displays a list of choices that the user can select. If the list does not fit in the box, a scroll bar allows the user to move through the available choices. A drop down list box displays the current selection when the user clicks the arrow, right? And a list of available choices displays. So it's a drop down list. Suppose if I go to courses, so I get options BTech, BBA, BCA. So these are my drop down list, right? An option button or radio button, so it will represent one choice in a set of options. Like you can choose one course. If you can choose only one course, then it becomes a radio options. And a checkbox in where you can have multiple choices, like you can make one selection also, you can select BTech also, BBA also, BCA also. Like suppose if an example, if I say if you're from arts background, then your BTech option will not be open, and if my BBA is BCA requiring me to have a commerce background, or my BBA requires to commerce background. So if my arts background, if only choice I have BCA, then it becomes a radio button. Wherein suppose if I am a science graduate, I have an option of choosing BTech, BCA, BBA, any of the above. So that becomes a checkbox. I can tick any amount, right? The calendar you've always seen, whenever wherein you can write your date of birth, you're able to select. So that is a calendar control. Okay. So see, screen design requires a sense of aesthetic as well as technical skills. So irrespective of the technical skill, your personal aesthetics or style also makes an effort. So you should design screens that are attractive, easy to use and workable. You should obtain user feedback early and often as the design process continues, right? So the opening screen is especially important because it introduces the application and allows user to view the main options. So when designing an opening screen, you can use a main kind of form that functions as a switchboard. A switchboard, it uses command buttons that enable users to navigate the system and select from groups of related tasks. So this will always be there, right? And we have already discussed in the previous slide all this kind of details. So just see here, and it's a payroll version 1.4, that is the main menu. It has a minimize option, maximize option, and a cancel option. Then there are various buttons into it: new employee, retrieve employee. So there is an employee and there is a text box given, and then there's a date slip that you can have a calendar date from there, and then there are his earnings. So all these are text boxes, right? So this is your deductions if you have to any from any, then total are all, and this is buttons again, right? So this is your upper to, it's a common screen that I took in generally just to make you aware that how screen design works, right? Next I come to report design. Okay, see, a report, it might address the following questions about each step into the system analysis and design process. So the first is planning. So you define the scope of the problem. So my report will always contain this planning, requirement, design, development, testing, implementation, and maintenance. So planning will define the scope of the problem. So you know that business administrator are a mix of manual and computer based techniques. He uses both manual also and computer. See, technical will be the one that are being designing, so they are the one that deals with the software. But as a business analyst, you have your personal choices also. So you do it manually also in your computer based techniques, and you want to update the system or buy a new system. So explain this feasibility study to determine the anticipated cost and benefit of the best options. So you always have a way of optimizing between cost and benefits. So you see like at what cost what benefits I'm getting. See if this 200 bucks is causing me this but benefit, I go for 300. Then when this feature is increased, do I really need that feature at a price of 100? So that is an optimization thing that you can choose. That is why it is always manual all along with the computer base, because that is your internal aesthetics from there. Okay, then I have requirement. So I justify the functional requirements, that is explain what documentation will be used to analyze the needs of the end users to ensure their new system can meet their expectations. The third point is design. Use the information that you received from the system requirement documentation to explain how you will design the new or updated system. Right? What are the necessary specifications and observation of the user interface that will meet the functional requirement? Will you use a logical design or a physical design, and why? Then I come to development. Explain the development part that will help start production using these three key topics: the impact of the internet, software outsourcing, and in house software development. Testing, that is discuss how the system will be tested to determine if the process design meets the business goals. Implementation is how the system be implemented. So you need to report everything down and who will use it, what is the training plan, what would be the cost of implementing the system, the post implementation evaluation plan, and whether the system meets specified requirements. So you need to have, while writing a report, you need to keep all these things in mind. Okay, then you have maintenance. That does the system need any update to improve the performance? So you need to identify all maintenance activity that will help in making the system operate more efficiently. So all these steps that you need to carry out with all these questions in mind will help you write a very very better report, and all this has to be kept in mind. Right? So this that's why it's explained point wise so that you don't get confused. So I hope this is clear. The short note can be on report design and screen design. I hope you liked the video. Thank you.